Hey everybody, Caleb here again, and in this video we're going to specifically talk about strings in Swift. Strings, as you saw in the last video, are a data type that can hold text data, and that's literally all that they're used for. Very cool. A lot of our apps are text rich, so they're really helpful and useful. And we're going to use a playground here really quickly. Let's just build one just like we did in the last video. Make it blank and just call it strings. We're going to go ahead and save that wherever we want. And we're going to go ahead and use some cool features of strings. I want to show you how they work. So let's go ahead and let's actually delete this here. And let's make a variable called album name. And we'll call this Nevermind. Now, if you know what band I'm going for here, props to you. Very cool band. I love their music. And so let's go ahead and do a name drop here. Var artist name. And just like before, we're going to go ahead and type Nirvana. Alrighty. And we're going to go ahead and say var review. And I'll say that that album is amazing. Okay? So I personally love that album, but I want to actually do something with all this data. How can I do that? Well, what I can do is I can go ahead and create another variable called description. And I can go ahead and pass in a variety of strings and variable names, and we can combine them together into one cohesive sentence. Now, I'll show you how this works. I can say, quote, the album, and check this out. I can actually pass in this album name variable using what is called string encapsulation. So I can go ahead and type a / and then a set of parentheses, and now if I pass in album name, like so, and close it with an end quote, it can pull in the value, Nevermind, into this sentence. So if I actually print that out, you'll see the string is the album, Nevermind. Let's continue this by, and let's pass in the artist name. Let's build it again and see what we get. The album, Nevermind by Nirvana, pretty cool, is... And I'm going to leave a space there, and I want to show you one actual final thing I can do here. Since we close this off, we now get a space at the end, and I can go ahead and just say plus my review. I can add that in, and if I print it out, it actually adds it to the end. So you can use addition to add strings to other strings. Pretty cool. The album Nevermind by Nirvana is amazing. So that is one way we can work with strings and combine them into bigger strings that combine lots of different, variable datas. Very cool stuff, and this is basically what you're going to need to know to work with strings. They're really simple. Basically, it's a bunch of text data that we can work with. We can set values. We can use our string encapsulation syntax here to pass in other variables that are of the same type, and we can actually add strings to combine them like so. Now, before we finish, I want to show you one example here. Maybe I could type var album price, and let's say it was $15 in its prime. If I tried to, add another string here, if I were to say, and it costs, and then if I were to try to add album price to the end, watch what happens. If we try to build this, we get an issue. It says overloads for plus exist with these partially matching parameter lists. Int, and string. What this means is that we can only add integers to integers, and we can only add strings to strings. So in Swift, you can't mix types like this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and print out our review here. The album Nevermind by Nirvana is amazing, and that is strings. They're very simple. Let's head over to the next video, and let's learn how to work with numbers in Swift.